What's up, friends? So in today's interview chat, sat down with my buddy Ben Menchaca. He is a stud at door-to-door roofing sales, and we're not talking about roofing today. We are talking about one of my favorite books of all time and one of Ben's top books as well, called The Slight Edge by Jeff Olson. And we are talking about how the slight edge has impacted our day-to-day, which has impacted our businesses and our lives. So for this video, unfortunately, our recording software of choice was not cooperating on both ends. So we went to Zoom and recorded on Zoom. It's not quite up to our perfect standards, but the quality of the content is solid. So we definitely want to push this out to y'all. And I highly recommend paying attention to this episode, jotting down some notes, and then going out to get the Slight Edge book. It has changed my life and it will change yours. All right, what's going on, everyone? I'm excited to be here with my buddy Ben Menchaca, roofing industry stud. You've seen him all over the place, and I'm grateful that I got him pinned down here in his kitchen. We're going to be talking about something a little bit different today. So what's going on, buddy?
I'm great, man. Just enjoying being back home and in my place. Nothing like home, right?
Seriously, yeah. It looks, it's November 30th as we're recording this. It looks sunny there at least. I don't know if it's probably not that warm, but it looks sunny.
Yeah, it's sunny out. The sun's out. There's a slight wind, not too bad, but 40s.
Yeah. Same here in Jersey. So similar. So yeah, we're going to be talking about this book, The Slight Edge, which is probably top 5 all time for me. And, Ben, you and I connected over this. I posted something about it on Facebook, and you're like, man, I just did sales training about that last week. I think out in Colorado, right?
Yeah. Echo Shield Exterior, shout out Jeremy Lawrence for that. Yeah.
Nice. So yeah, I said, you know what? Ben's been on some podcasts. Check him out on Roofing Insights. I know he's talked with Dimitri a few times. People know Ben's story, but today I want to do something a little bit different and talk about this book because it shapes my life. It's kind of the way that it's my life philosophy, the way that I run my life and business, and it sounds like it is for you too. So we're gonna geek out, maybe a little book club here, have some fun.
Yeah. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say before we get into that, for those people who might be living under a rock and don't know who you are, just give the audience a little bit of a background as to who has Ben, what's your deal.
Yeah, so thank you. Nailed it, audience. My name is Ben Menchaca. I'm from the great state, money-making Minnesota. This is where I've been the last 4 years. I got involved in this industry. This is my 4th year in the industry. I go door to door and sell roofs, siding, gutters, downspouts, whole exteriors related with insurance storm events. And I started off on the East Coast. With a big 100-man army. It was just like an ant among all these giants. But I started there and cut my teeth and really compressed time frames and developed a skill set that's been able to pay me, change my bank account, change my zip code, change my clothing, change my life, totally leveled up. And later on in life, I'm an older guy. I'm in my 40s. So I came from the sheet metal industry into sales. So quite a different beast there, but long story short, I've been able to compress time frames and develop a skill set that's allowed me to change my life through door to door. One of the most awkward things you'll ever do in your life.
Where on the East Coast were you?
I was in Virginia Beach. So I got to hit a hailstorm there. And first I was looking at it as hey, it could be a vacation. I jumped and left everything in my past life and just jumped, got in the car and went. And so I go, if I fail, at least I'm by the beach. I can have a nice summer by the beach and come back to my old job if it doesn't work, But yeah, Virginia Beach had a nice hailstorm, beautiful country over there. I love it.
Nice. I spent a lot of time in Virginia Beach, Norfolk area in my previous career. Not door to door. We were in the barge and marine construction industry. So I think Norfolk it might be the biggest naval base in the world. And there's just a lot of military there. We did a lot of work down there. So definitely familiar with. From here, for me, it's a 6-hour drive. I used to do it every couple of months. bit there and back, not in one day, of course, but yeah, nice people down there, good hospitality.
Yeah, all military, USA insurance everywhere with her.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. Cool, man. So, and you're currently in Minnesota, and you're knocking door. Well, not today, but or maybe earlier or later, but knocking doors and helping people out, huh?
Yeah, training, recruiting, and trying to duplicate myself and others, going to that next stage of leadership. But knocking doors, man. This is what I do. I knock doors and I go get deals and I turn in checks and I help people. I help people professionally navigate the insurance process, and it feels good to be making an earning while solving a problem, right? It's like an incredible income, but we do help people, and you can't do this job at high levels if you're not committed to serving others, So I find a great joy in that, not only financially, but just helping people.
Awesome. That's cool. That's cool. That's where it's gotta come from. Like you said, like if you're just in it for the money in any business, you're going to burn out, and you're not going to be able to build something that's worthwhile, in my opinion. So
it's like, we'll talk about later, like it's mastering the mundane. It's not the most glamorous life, day in, people don't see the day in and day out, but like something's gotta drive you. And that service to, people and letting them know what's available is just really, it really helps,
Absolutely. All right. Well, speaking of which, let's dive in. The Slight Edge, not a very well-known book. It's kind of maybe got a cult following. It was a gift to me, 2019. So 2.5 years ago, by Jeff Olson. So if you go on Amazon, there's a few different Slight Edge books, but this is Jeff Olson. Pretty thick book, small writing. It's got 260 pages. I've read it a few times. Excellent book. And basically what the Slight Edge is, mastering the mundane. And we have a choice. Every single little decision that we have, we can either choose the positive one, the one that's going to be beneficial in the long run, or we can choose the negative one. And those little tiny decisions, as Jeff talks about in the book, like they might not seem consequential at the time, but when you make that same decision over and over every day, for months or for years, you're going to end up in a certain place, whether that's, up here where you want to be or down here after the compound effect of that repeated decision over time. So that's kind of the cliff notes of the book. And I'm going to read one quote from page 130 that I highlighted and starred here. He says, "But successful people do what unsuccessful people are not willing to do." All right, so that's pretty straightforward. But then he says, even when it doesn't look like it makes any difference, and they do it long enough for the compounding effect to start to kick in. So the key there to me is like, successful people do the things that people aren't willing to do, even when it looks like it doesn't make any difference right then in the moment. And that's hard, right? Because in our instant gratification world, we want results now, man. Like, I want to do something now, and I want to see that result, in 5 minutes. We have like that microwave kind of, there's a microwave in the background, the microwave mentality. So that's what the book means to me. But I'm curious, what the book means to you in a nutshell.
Well, I'll go a little bit further. I got introduced to that book through network marketing. So right. I was in prepaid legal, which is now Legal Shield. Great product, by the way, service. Jeff Olson was the director of sales
for that organization.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm like I got to hang with him, take pictures. We did an event. I got to go spend some good amount of time with him. But that book, I didn't know him, but like he gave the book out first before I got to know him, but he was in that organization and he went on to do other things. But like that book changed my life because he was like a bum, like on the beach or whatever, hanging out, just going through life, not really having a plan. And then something like snapped in him. And he defined it so well, like doing the little things that seem insignificant at the moment that lead up to the compound effect at the end of the year or end of a certain number of years. Fascinating, man, because like you said, I believe awareness is the key to change, right? And growing up and whatever, nobody teaches you that, like nobody, like, so that awareness that came from that book, and I've been able to see it in my life play out. Fascinating book that, I was reminded at that training about that book. I haven't really spoken about it in a while. And then you brought it up again. I'm like, something's going on here. The universe, man, we got to bring this back out again.
Yeah, definitely. I forgot about that story of him on the beach. He kind of tells that story in the third person, like, hey, there was this guy, right? Yeah. And then at the end of the story, he's like, that was me. And I could have ended up being, 10 years down the road being a beach bum, but instead I made these other decisions and now I'm in this place, right? That was the story?
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
Basically, yeah, he had the thing is like, I'm just saying, like, for me, I kind of wandered around lost for a large part of my life, not having any direction. I didn't have a father that grew up with in my formative years. And so I could relate to that. And now to see where I got to reading books and got to expand my mind and my network and seeing how that's changed my life. It's like, I just can relate to that,
Yeah, that's cool. When you can pick up a book and read it and it kind of clicks, and then you're not just reading it to say, hey, I read that book, it was awesome, but you're actually implementing it and living it. That's huge. And like, I'm a big fan. I buy obviously the physical books usually for a few reasons, but one of them is I have them on my bookshelf and I can open them up like whenever I want. I'll literally go, we have a bookshelf in our hallway at home, and I'll go through and I'll look at the highlights. And, in this case, I'll just look at these highlights and I'll just kind of read a few pages in the morning. A lot of times I'll get inspired by what I'm reading, and that's what I'm posting on social media. That's where a lot of this stuff comes from. So having this to continually reference as kind of like a guide, as opposed to a book you just read on Kindle once and you forget about it. That's huge. That's huge.
Yeah. And like that graphic that you posted earlier of the arrows, right? Man, it's very simple but profound when you look at it. It tells you the future in that little graphic, and I found that fascinating too. It's more palpable to the normal person to see that,
Yeah, I mean, like seriously, like the book is 260 pages, but it can really be summed up in that one graphic for sure. Yeah. But for me, I'm the kind of guy that I need to read the 260 pages for it to really sink in and like, and not just see the graphic, but hear the stories and read about the stories of people that have implemented that philosophy, because, stories stick with us, whereas the facts, different ideas and facts and tactics might not stick with us without those stories. So
facts sell, stories sell,
Absolutely. Yep.
But how long does it take you to read a book, you think? Or does it drag out a while, or are you pretty disciplined and get it out of the way, or how's that work for you?
So that's interesting, because actually it's the slight edge in action. I read every morning, at least 10 pages every morning. All right. So that's I picked up from Andy Frisella, 75 Hard. That's one of the things that is required to do every day in 75 Hard is read 10 pages. Now 10 pages doesn't sound like a lot. It takes, depending on the book, it takes, 5 to 15 minutes, call it something like that, 20 minutes if you're really taking it slow and digesting. And that doesn't sound like a lot, but to do that every day, it adds up. So normally I'll read 10 pages in the morning. I'll read a little bit before I fall asleep, which a lot of times is only like 2 pages and I'm out. So, but just reading 10 pages a day, you can crank out a book in a month. And it's not like I'm going to sit down on a weekend and, we have kids and we're busy. We've got a lot going on. So the days of like, hey, I'm going to read a book on a Saturday, like that just, that doesn't happen. So it's just a little bit every day. And I'm a big fan of rereading books and implementing them. I probably reread like 6 books this year. So that's kind of my style. And I read and I highlight and I take notes. I'm more of a visual guy. I think I've only listened to when I used to commute, I used to listen to a lot of books on CD back in the day. But I don't really listen to books anymore, just podcasts really.
Yeah, I was before I was in door-to-door sales, I'd have to drive a lot or whatever. Or when I was at work, I had audiobooks all the time. When I was in laying tile and it'd take me a bunch of 3 days to do a tub surround, 2 days, whatever it was, I had Grant Cardone cranking on audio books. I have 4 books right here on my coffee stand. I have books on the shelf. Like the books changed your life. They change your life, dude. Like it's wisdom of the world available at your fingertips, man.
Yeah.
And people very rarely take advantage of it, you know?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. What are you reading now?
The Long Road East by Quentin Super. Quentin's one of, he used to be with Dimitri and did the copy for him.
Okay.
I got leading with Steve Jobs from Apple. And then I'm trying to read this Strength Finder book to, dial in on my strengths. So I've got 4 books. I have 6 books to catch up on this winter. Yeah. So the books are everywhere, audio or physical. I love physical though. Like you said, I like holding it, putting a bookmark, I got, this is reading some John C. Maxwell, and I got some stuff already written out there.
Nice.
Yeah, man, I love books.
Yeah. Another reason I like the actual book is because our kids are 9 and 6, and I want them to see me reading a book. And like, if I'm reading a Kindle or looking at the Kindle app on my iPad, well, they don't know that I'm reading a book. They might just think I'm staring at a device. So, making plenty of mistakes as a dad, but that's one that I think I'm doing right, is like, I want them to see dad like reading with his nose in a physical book. So hopefully that rubs off. We'll see. That's
a good observation, man. I wouldn't have known that, but like, that's awesome, man. Like just providing that example for them, let them choose whatever, but at least they have an option to see, hey, this is a part. It's a pretty special to just sit and read a book. And, it's really kind of meditative,
Oh, absolutely. For sure. So let's dive into the book, Ben. What are some of the things that you implement on a daily basis, whether it's life or business, or we can cover both, that have really transformed your life?
Well, it's 2 things, right? So the slight edge, doing, what most people won't do, so you could have what they don't have. Like every day matters. Master the mundane that, has the compound effect. And that, how it led into my life, it led me to discover what's called a 90-day run, putting your head down for 90 days, reading 10 pages of a good book every morning, doing your exercise or walking, whatever you do, getting, hydrated and getting your energy to that level, like raising your, like the endorphins and everything, raising your energy. Because before I was good at sales, I just used my energy to sell, high energy. People are mostly like low energy. So when you come out there with this high energy, it's attractive, right? Mm-hmm. So it's led me to this 90-day run where you have daily goals, daily activity, and then they have the results at the end of the 90 days. And that's able to create some crazy momentum. Like that's how I built my sales, is by doing 90-day runs and really compressing. Like I'll do like $500,000 in 90 days in sales. So that's 3 months. And up here, up north, we got to compress 12 months of income into 6. So the slight edge gave me the foundation to be able to carry that off and know that there's a prize at the end if I just stick to it. And it keeps you on point. It keeps you busy. I don't know about you, man, but I got to be busy. I'm not good just being bored, my mind's always going. So the slight edge led me to the 90-day run, and the 90-day run led me to like just have some basic daily disciplines and then just to keep you on point, keep you sharp. Because it's real easy when the bills are paid and money's coming in and you got this and that, to get out of focus of what you need to do for yourself in your life.
Yeah. We see that in the roofing and contracting industry a ton. It's the old roller coaster where you might get a bunch of deals in and you end up building them, you collect the checks. And while you're busy, building those projects, not that you're actually building, you're a sales and project manager, but you get busy with those projects and you forget to keep that pipeline full. And maybe, you're doing projects and you're not out there knocking doors. You're not calling your leads, you're not following up with people, and then you finish those projects and you're like, oh man, I got no pipeline right now. I need to go out and like buy some leads because I, spent the last month just like doing the work. So that's key. I imagine as a top producer that you have some sort of daily sales activity. Would that be a correct assumption?
Yeah, income producing activity.
Nice. Yeah. Okay.
IPA, baby.
Nice. What does that mean?
I just like to swing the bat, man. Like I'll just go out there. Like I said in my video with Dimitri, it's not rocket science, bro. I'm not the most technological guy or whatever, the most advanced guy, but I put in the work every day and I just keep it simple. Hey, I'm going to go out, hand out all these. I got these flyers or door hangers. I'm going to go hand out 100 of these, 75 of these, 200, whatever that number is. That's my only obligation for the day. In doing the activity and hitting the numbers, you're going to get a sale. You're going to get someone who likes you, wants to do business with you, or maybe you get a referral from them. I've seen miraculous things come out of this where I'm at the gas station out of nowhere and I get a deal because they saw my sign or they the door hanger, they remember the lightning bolt or whatever. Like just doing the activity, I'm promising myself I'm going to do this much and it's going to yield this much, like 3 a day. I try to get 3 deals a day, right? And that's hard. But not if you're out there and you've got some damage or you know how to work disco, but 3's the number. If I come home with 1, I'm good. You don't really need a lot of sales. Like you could do 3, 4 deals a month and be cool with money in this industry, really. But I try to go 10x, right? Yeah. Multiple 10x. So yeah, just doing the activity, handing out 100, 200, whatever I got to do to just do it, get it out of the way. It's like working out, right? I just go do my workout,
Yeah, totally. That's a Grant Cardone thing, the whole 10X. Like if you want 10 deals, then you better, do 100 quotes. Or if you want to get someone, if you're following up on your pipeline and you want to get one person to respond, then send out 10 messages or 10 little video messages or whatever you're doing to follow up. Like if you want 1, do 10, because you're going to get about 10% of what you put out there. I found that to be true in my life. Like last week, I sat here in this chair. I recorded a bunch of selfie videos. I sent them to our some prospects that we have. We have a big sales push this month, and sure enough, about 2 out of 20 people replied. And that's the game, right? That's the sales game. Like you just trust the process and know that you show up and do that work.
It's certainty, man. It creates certainty in your life. Everything's so uncertain. And I don't know if I should, dude, right here it's funny that we're talking about the slight edge and we mentioned 10X. I'm a 10X guy. I have the flag right here in my house hanging because so it's slight edge that made that phenomenal transformation in me. And then 10X, when I experienced that book, it was the same thing. It created this awareness I wasn't aware of and gave me a plan of certainty for my future. And like you said, like now we know we're in sales. We know how many touches it takes to get a client. It's just in our DNA now. We do it subconsciously, right? 3 levels of learning, unconscious to unconsciously, like all this stuff. It's crazy how it happens.
Yeah, that's so true. And I think you kind of alluded to it before. You're like, I'm not the most technologically savvy guy, and I say, all the time, I'm like, I'm not the smartest guy. I'm not the strongest guy. I'm not the fastest guy, but I'll freaking show up every day and kind of win by default, like just because I'm showing up and I have the endurance that most other people don't. Like I'm willing to show up and post on social media every day, even if I get 0 comments or engagement, or, I'm willing to go out there and run every day. I'm not going to break any speed records, but I'm going to run every day and get the miles in. Like it's just, it's trusting
mastering the mundane, man. Like, yeah,
it really is. It really is. Especially when you don't want to, especially when you did it the day before and you didn't get the result that you wanted. Well, you got to show up again and it's a brand new day and you just got to show up and trust that process again. And you might not see results for 2 weeks. You might not get any deals for 2 weeks. We've all been there, but you just got to be in the game and get those, like swing the bat, like you said. And sooner or later, you're going to get out of that slump and you're going to start stacking up some hits.
Yeah. One of the reasons we're on here today is because you see me on these podcasts and all this content, right? Well, I started doing that my second year in the business, started taking roof selfies, posting my checks, posting my numbers on the leaderboard. I did all that. I was so obnoxious. I put all that up there, but I was 10X. I was about it, but in fact, that's how Dimitri found me. I had all my contingency spread on the floor and it took up the whole room and my checks. And that's how he's like, wow, like that's how we first met. So when document the journey every day, you don't want to do it. You don't feel like it, dude. I don't do retakes of my stuff. I don't plan. I just do everything raw on my phone and it's real. Dimitri said there's more consumers than there are creators, so therefore we have the advantage, right? But to do it every day when no one's watching, when they're watching, like now I used to get no likes. Now like my stuff hits crazy numbers, but I've been consistent since my second year of just posting and put it out there, put it in the universe, and the compound effect took over,
Yeah. Absolutely. That's been one of my biggest wins for this year is being consistent, like every day on social, like posting and sharing. And there were times like right now it's November 30th. We go back 3 months to August. And I know August it's just one of those months where it's like people on vacation. It's, slow for a lot of businesses. And my content was getting I was really discouraged. It was, the engagement was down, the views on videos were down. I'm like, put myself out there. And, it's hard to put yourself out there and you're not getting any, not that we do it for our egos, right? But it's like, man, I'm putting myself out there. I just want to see the engagement because I want to know that this is valuable. And I'm not I'm not contributing to the noise.
Because you don't want to hear yourself just talk. You want people to get value out of it.
Yeah. So that was August. And I'm talking to our team and Elizabeth here on our team. And I'm like, I got to be honest, I'm ready to give up this content thing. I'm doing something wrong. Right. It's not clicking. And I was like, no, you know what? I preach all the time, the slight edge, the compound effect. I gotta listen to my own advice and just freaking put my head down, put the blinders on and focus on it. And here we are 3 months later. And yeah, it's been one of the biggest wins this year. This month has been, compared to last November is 3 or 4X, as far as, business and revenue and all that. And that's a big part of it. And, most people, I think when times get tough or, when you're not getting the result that you want, I wasn't back in August, it's like, man, I was ready to throw in the towel, but you got to stick with it. And, things happen that you would never expect, right? Like people reaching out to you, right? All over the place. You're kind of like you're a local sales rep for a company, but you're also like a national industry-wide known, kind of celebrity in an industry.
It's because I put myself out there though. You put yourself out there. There's people that sell more than me, dude. There's people that sell way more than me. There's people that do all this stuff, but they don't put themselves out there. And you could do whatever you want, but yeah. I consciously put myself out there because I was influenced by Gary Vee and Grant Cardone. And I saw the results these guys were getting, massive followings. If I could just get a little bit of that, I'm thinking because, they talk about create a brand, create your tribe, all this stuff. And it works. I do stuff mainly let's see if it works. Let's see if all the stuff we read in books, let's see if it's tangible to my life or to my average person, let's try it out, and it worked.
Yeah. That if we're going to sit on the social media thing for just a minute longer, you gotta take your ego out of it. Right. And you got to see it as a test, and the market is efficient, which means that if your content's good and you're consistent, you're going to build your following, your tribe. If your content sucks, you're not. And that's part of the slight edge as well. But it's testing, put yourself out there. If you don't get the engagement you want off of a video or a post or whatever, don't think oh man, no one likes me. My content sucks, because I've been there. I've done that. You beat yourself up about it. Just got to realize, all right, well, maybe it could be as simple as the time of day that I posted, or, there's a lot of other things going on. Facebook's tweaking their algorithm, or there's an election going on. There's so much other noise out there. It's hard to break through that. Like, there are all these outside circumstances that we can't control. So that's why we've got to show up every day and just continue to put in the work.
Yeah, put in the work and pivot if you have to. If something's not working, switch it. See so many people driving on something that doesn't work.
Yeah.
And that's got to be ego, right? I don't know what it is, but it's all right to pivot and move and go in a different direction, or totally get out of it or whatever.
Yeah. So your income producing activities, your IPAs, I love those. Give us some more, a couple other daily things that you do, every day.
Just touch my files. All right. Like, touch the file. Where are we at on this, man? This guy got his check yet or what? Like, is this referral coming through? Like, just touch your files. I recently, I'm not plugging anything, but like, I teamed up with a software company that does automatic text follow-up campaigns. You go over there, you get the door, maybe you get a one-legger. Hey, you mind if I send you my business card? And when's a good time to follow up? Set it, forget it. It follows up for you till it dies, So follow up. It's Chirp. It was formerly Roofly Pro.
Okay.
And it's those guys saw me on Dimitri's video and said, "Hey, man, we'd love to do business for you. We've been successful in the solar and real estate space with this app.
Yeah.
We want to transform into the roofing industry." And as salesmen, people were terrible at following up.
Yes.
And how many sales slipped through the cracks when, I was like, all right, I'm going to put my whole CRM. Let's get all these campaigns going. Let's see what pops out, because or it's good if it's a fresh storm. It keeps track, because it gets crazy in the season. Like, you're here, you're there, your mind's scattered, distractions. This thing is like set and forget it, no brainer, and it makes you look more professional when you follow up with people
Oh, absolutely, yeah. That's Chirp with 2 eyes. Is that the one?
Yeah.
I've seen that. I didn't. I've never researched it, but I'm gonna check that out because.
Yeah, Ryan Fenn. Shout out Ryan Fenn. He's a dude. They make good technology, and it's just not known. So I'm trying to push it into the market and get it known.
So you're like a brand ambassador now, like an influencer.
I guess so. People, just reach out to me to that was the first one where it's a paying gig, bro. Like, they pay me. I get residuals.
Awesome.
But I haven't really been vocal about it because I've been trying to test it out, see what's what, and just but this year I'm going to be more focused on using it so I can show my results, because it is it's just good technology. Like, dude, you said it and I'm like, and then there's different, it's like AI. So it's not sounding all bogus. Like you're talking to a computer either.
Right.
It's different, and it has so many campaigns in it, preloaded, and the price per month is the guy's high. I think he should raise it, but
Well, he's probably trying to get people in there to use it to build
exactly,
and kind of go from there. That makes sense. Yeah, follow up, man. Like that's a slight edge thing right there. Like, we for anyone in business listening to this, which is most people in sales and whatnot, like, there is so much untapped opportunity in your CRM, in your pipeline right now. It's insane, right? Go out there with some text message campaigns, email campaigns. You can upload your list to Facebook. You can serve those people ads. It's a custom audience. You can, call them. You can knock on the door.
I got to get with you on that ad stuff, the Facebook stuff, because I don't do any of that, and you're pretty good at that.
All right. Well, I mean, that's what we built a business around. I hope we're pretty good. Yeah. We can talk about that. But I mean, we routinely enroll new clients, sign up new clients. I did it this morning. Enrolled a new client and go into our CRM, which is Active Campaign. And I always scroll down the right side there in Active Campaign to see when that client joined our CRM. And this morning it was 4 14 months. It was September 2020, so 14 months ago. Yesterday, we had a guy who was over 2 years in our CRM, and it's just staying in front of people consistently with emails and, social media. And that goes for roofing and contracting. Like, just because someone gets an inspection today or a quote or an estimate doesn't mean they're ready to do business today. But at some point, they're going to want to get that roof done. And I think, like, it's like, as a top producer, like, man, so few people follow up. Even us, like, I think our follow-up game is pretty good, but man, there's $1 million in our pipeline that we're ignoring right now. I know it for a fact.
It's like a muscle. You got to keep exercising and develop it. I'm like you talked about before, stuff just happens. That just something like that occurs. And then sometimes, like, I become accustomed or getting used to not getting the sale first close. Cause that's the way I built my business up, is like, but then now I'm just like, I don't know. All I could do is give the best possible brand and that they're going to see that day. And I'm fresh on their mind, and it's been turned out like I'll get deals later. Like you said, they'll just come through later because you took the time to educate them on the process and weren't all weird about it. You just kind of like, I don't know if you qualified, man. Like, let's see if you do. And following up with them, it happens. It, like you said, stuff will come out of nowhere if you just do the activity and the follow-up necessary. Just whatever your plan is, your process, if you're just diligent with it, like you said, master the mundane, stuff pops out of nowhere and surprise you at weird times. Kind of like, wow, I had one the other day. She wants me to do her porch. She had a addition put on. And so she's like, can you do this porch? And like, sure. And then she wants me to do the roof in the spring.
Awesome.
It's already November. I wasn't expecting that,
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And you never know. And this from like social media, like, you never know who's watching, and people reach out to you, and I'm sure you get it all the time. Like, Ben, I've been watching your content. Like, I need help with this, or can I pick your brain, or, whatever. Can I hire you? Can I buy some of your gear, or whatever it is? Like, we get it. Like, I wouldn't say every single day, but probably a good 4 days a week. Someone's reaching out, being like, hey man, I've been following your content for a while. I want to talk. I need help with this. And it's just proof, right? Just putting in the work every day, right?
Which it shows, like, someone once told me, are you open for business? Are you open for business? That's what social media, like it said, I'm open for business. Yeah. I do business. I'm open. Whereas if you don't post or you don't do anything, you're telling people you're not really interested in your business. It doesn't matter. That's
true. Yeah. What else on the non-business end of things, Ben? Like personal wise, like what's something that you do every day?
I just enjoy talking to people. I get a lot of DMs and they tell me these crazy stories, emotional stories. And it's like, sometimes it's like, I was in that position. I know how they feel and this is what I did. I could help them out. Some of it's just like, like I told, like on the latest video, this lady wants to pay me to teach her son instead of sending him to college. Like, dude, wow, profound, bro. Like, so I like talking to people. I love watching documentaries. I like watching like YouTube instructional, I'm all about learning, just continued learning, because it just improved my life so much and gave me a lot of peace by just doing that. I like to go fishing. I love to travel. I love the mountains. I like the beach. Like, I'm enjoying this. I've taken 20 plus flights this year, the most ever in my life. And it's cool because I'm single. I don't have kids and I can do that. But I've just been enjoying just meeting people and seeing what sharing my experience, putting myself out there has done in their life. Like, you don't see that when you're doing it. Mm-hmm. I don't, like, when I got into door to door, bro, I didn't know this was not even imaginable.
Right.
But I committed to leaving my comfort zone and changing my future, at least for that summer. And it turned into a skill set and a profession. It's just amazing, to me. So that's what I like to do. I like to just really talk to people now and just hear people's story. I don't think I was ever that interested in people before, like when I had a job. Like, I don't,
Yeah.
the world kind of makes you callous and only wants you can focus on you if you don't have something to dream for and to look forward to besides beer money,
Yeah, well, they say if you want to be interesting, be interested. So that's I'm sure that definitely played a role in your business and your life.
Yeah, sure, it did.
What do you when you go out to train, like you said, Eco Shield out in Colorado, and you're talking about the slight edge? What are you talking about? Like, what do you teach those guys?
Well, I'm just saying to them, like I draw the graph. And then I put even add like little slats to it, like 30 days or whatever. And I'm saying, this is your month. Now, this month right here, and then you could just like triplicate it, put it 3 times. Yep. This month right here will determine what happens here.
Yeah.
And this day right here, this Monday, the 1st, is going to dictate the energy and motion you set that day is going to dictate the end of this month, but you can't see it. So so what you need to do is whatever I go through on like the 90-day run or whatever, I go, you got to do this daily. You got to win daily, man. Like, even if you just complete them and get no results, you won because you completed them. And that creates what do they say? 28 days to create a habit, 90 days to create a lifestyle. I don't know. Like, I just heard that, it stuck with me, but you got to create the habit and then you'll get the results, and then momentum kicks in. It's just like clockwork. It's amazing. The unfair advantage, like once you know these things, develop one, adapt them into your life just creates some synergy and some exponential growth in your life. And you could use it outside of business too, whatever you want to do.
Absolutely. Yeah. It is kind of an unfair advantage. And I love the fact that you say, like, what you do now, you're not going to see the results. You might see those results in 30 or 60 or 90 days. I think right now it's even more relevant. It's November 30th. We're going into the holiday season, the end of the year, the winter, where a lot of guys in the construction and roofing industry might just be putting their feet up and being like, yeah, I'm good till February or March. I'll start getting serious around March. And then we see it all the time. Like, people are in a panic mode. Like, oh crap, what do I do? I'm starting from zero. But if you put the work in now to set yourself up for busy season, then you're gonna crush it because you've already put in the work. And I don't think you can fully grasp that until you do it, you live it, and like, oh yeah, wow, this is life changing. Different.
It's in a level of awareness that you're not aware of. It's a blind spot that you're missing that's illuminated with books like, The Slight Edge and Unlocking Your Legacy, Paul J. Meyer. Like, all these people give you the formula, and then that's the first part of awareness. Then you implement it. That's the second part of awareness. And then after that, you just live it. It's part of you. It's in your subconscious because you got a result. And it's incredible. Like I said before, wisdom of the world available right now. We're the most richest part in history, and people are getting distracted with things that don't matter, unfortunately, Yeah. And like I said, we only have this one finite loop in this life that we know about right now. And why not at least try to be the best version of yourself, or try to do something for humanity, or whatever it is, it's your thing. But it's going to take daily disciplines that the Slight Edge points out. It's if you want to become effective and have it grow.